if you're an only child, then I get you, bro, because me too. And this whole video is just going to be speaking about how I've dealt with it. Not like it's a massive issue, just because I don't believe in playing the victim, but how to live with it. And if you're not an only child, then this might just be interesting. Only child syndrome, I call it. Essentially, sorry, someone just walked past and gave me the weirdest look. Like someone was just walking. They looked at me like I'm a freak. To be fair, I'm just speaking to a camera that's set up on a branch. Hardly anyone comes here, but when they do, I must look like I am weird. And that's actually linking back into this video. You will seem weird to people most likely. Do you know why? You haven't had that social training. And if you were raised similar to me, when you went on a holiday or when you went out to gatherings with your parents, you didn't have anyone your age to really interact with. So you'd always be interacting with parents, adults. Maybe you're quite old-minded because of this. Do you know what I used to hate? When my mum would just be like, go and play with people your own age. And I'd be like, I actually just want to speak to the adults. But it was annoying because the adults would patronize you. They wouldn't see you as a real person at that point because you were so young. There's a fly on my screen. Get off, you bastard. But then you speak to the kids and you find them all dull because you don't really get on with people your generation. You don't really get them. And as you get older, you'll kind of just develop this lone wolf toxic mentality, and also you're just constantly like analysing people and analysing yourself too much. And if you've got siblings, it's not the same, and I'm not saying you don't have these things. Every human is always thinking about themselves, but it's different. You've had the training of always being around someone, no matter how you feel, good, bad, ugly, pretty. You've always been around your brother or your sister. They've always been judging, they've always been messing with you. But as an only child, most of the time you've had yourself. So you're never truly yourself in situation, unless you're with someone that's like, they're just like you so much. I have someone like that recently, and it's like being in my own company around them. But most of the time, if I'm with someone, even if it's someone I'm cool with, I'm never fully... Do you know what I mean? I can't put it into words. Because I'm always analysing what I'm doing. There's always some sort of character I'm playing. And when you're in your own company, you might be a bit of a freak. I always talk to myself, actually. Because you've always been there for yourself. Your brain is your biggest asset, your biggest curse. As an only child, you are an outsider. That's how you feel. And can I just say something, Chief? It doesn't go away, this feeling of being outside, this overly analytical brain, this feeling older. But you learn to live with it. You learn to embrace it. That's who you are. There are pros and cons to it, but there's pros and cons to having a brain built off from loads of siblings. And it doesn't restrict you as well. You can learn to be socially brilliant despite it. You might always come across as a bit weird, but weird's not bad. It depends on what kind of weird it is, yeah? Weird just means something different. Are you the type of weird where it's like, yeah, he's a bit weird? Or are you the type of weird where it's like, he's weird? There's a difference between it being a bit kooky nuts in a conversation, I'm never saying that again, or like looking like a gremlin, you know what I mean? Or acting like one. Which is a side note, me and my friends do behind closed doors, but that's, if anyone saw that, I'd probably be ridiculed, so I'm pretty sure every friend group has that. Only child syndrome. Your social battery is annoyingly low. I mean, look, I'm really good with people. Like, I'm kind of like a extrovert, introvert, or whatever you want to call it. But there's a point where I just need to be on my own, because that's where I feel safe. That's where I feel most comfortable. Even like some of my closest friends, being around them, I'm just like, I still feel like I'm using up that, whatever that is, that battery. It's because that's where you did most of your growing, your thinking, your understanding, your playing. It was all within this bubble of just you and you. Again, there are pros and cons. When you're the only one that you're listening to, it can get dangerous. It's very warped perception. You can go two ways with it. You can either see yourself as a freakish victim that should be outcasted from society, or you can see yourself above society, like the chosen one. I've been at both ends of the spectrum. Now, I'm not saying all this is necessarily just allocated to being an only child, but it is very common to have these things. And how you deal with it is how you deal with any other stupidity your brain throws at you. It's just knowing that what's up here is not reality. It could seem very real, but what you do is always a choice. Everything you put into the world is always a choice. No matter how weird you feel, no matter how freakish you feel, it's your choice how you interact, how you perceive people, the negativity, positivity, whatever. You don't have to let it define you. And in fact, parts of it, you can let it be a part of your charm. I'm somehow very good at first impressions in hospitality. When people then get to know me, I'm a bit weirder, and then when they get to know me past that weird middle section, then they decide if they actually think I'm a valuable person. But for some reason, first impressions I'm pretty good at. But that's almost like I'm playing a character. And that's the thing, in social situations I kind of am. I mean, everyone is, but even more so. Because who I am really, I'm only ever that when I'm on my own. And it can be torturous, but, you know. I don't know if this is restricted to only child syndrome, but possibly as well you have a problem letting people in. Because the closer they get to you, the closer you get to feeling completely exposed, and you've never had to really deal with that because you've always been on your own in this safe space. So maybe you run away from people, you stay mysterious. That's a video for a different day. But look, you are who you are, Chief, and it's beautiful. No one's like you, completely. But just know that you can be whatever you want to be. It's all about choices. And these things, these habits that make you. No one else has that, so utilize it for good. It's not my job to tell you how to do that, that's your journey. But you're unique. And that's beautiful. See you tomorrow. Say less. Do more.